today, lads, we are going to be expanding onto my ultra-realistic Minecraft town. Now, if you guys are new to the series, basically what we are doing is replicating parts of Florida into the game of Minecraft. Now, we are doing this with the main goal of achieving ultimate realism without going too crazy on the mods. In fact, we don't really utilize too many mods. We only use about 2. All of this is mainly powered through a texture pack, which I will be linking down below in the description if you want to check it out yourself. So today what we are going to be doing is going back to the Pines City Center, which is located in about central Florida. It's kind of in Miami. Now right now we are currently recreating this little section into our map. Now, Lakeside is a little bit different than Bellevue because while they both are being replicated, Lakeside is kind of a little bit of its own thing. Now, Bellevue is my childhood town. I grew up there, and it's all the way in Ohio. I don't want to drive 20 hours every time to just go and have some nostalgia, you know? So I thought I would just build it into Minecraft with as accurate precision as possible. Now that town and that city is going to be replicated 100% down to like the single blade of grass. It's going to have everything that is actually there in real life. Lakeside is definitely replicated, but we are throwing our own spin on things. It's more or less recreated. So today what we are going to be doing is building an apartment complex, and then we are also going to build a Hobby Lobby that is basically right across the street. Okay, so here we are on Google Earth. We are at the exact location that we are building, and here is the BurgerFi that we built, and it looks completely different. These are completely new, updated photos on Google Earth, and they changed it. They changed the BurgerFi. They took it out. It is now a construction group building, I guess. This would have been a lot easier to build if I would have seen this months ago, but it's too late. Now, down here at this intersection is where the intro for this episode was filmed, right here. Obviously looks different in Lakeside because, again, we are putting our own little changes on some things. Now, the apartments that I was eyeing are these right here. These apartments look very, very cool. I like the architecture, and it's a very big place. Now, I was looking at these a few days ago, and the only issue that we are going to run into here is that we cannot go back into this community to get very precise accuracy for the builds because it's a gated community. So yeah, we're kind of screwed. We really only have this here to work with, and then obviously the aerial viewpoints. So not super, super helpful, but we're going to work with what we have. But yeah, this apartment complex is massive. I mean, just look at this place. It has parking garages. It's so large. There's literally 2 large parking garages. I don't think we're gonna have that in mind. You know, I don't think we're gonna have that in mind, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm not sure. I might have to lay this out completely differently because the area that we are building with is completely different than what we have here. But yes, this place is pretty colossal. It's gonna take a very long time to build that. And then, of course, directly across the street, we have the Hobby Lobby here, which we are also going to build. This thing is, yeah, it's pretty simple, pretty basic, not much going on here. Should be very simple to do. Now, I think what I'm going to do for the Hobby Lobby is change the entire look of it, right? Because I want it to be more of a traditional Hobby Lobby look. You have the stereotypical Florida look, of course, so Everything down here kind of looks the same, I'm not gonna lie, so I want this to be at least a little bit different. I think what we're going to do is start with the apartments, since that's kind of like the big boss fight, and then maybe take a break about halfway through, because I feel like I'm probably gonna need it, and then we'll switch over to the Hobby Lobby. Okay, so here we are. This is the main section that the apartment complex is going to go. As you guys can see, we have begun progress here. Now, this is, like I said, going to be laid out completely differently than what we see on Google Images. Really, the only thing that we are taking from this neighborhood is the actual structures themselves. Now, I'm fully aware I did mention that I was going to build a Hobby Lobby directly across the street here, but considering how big and beefy this apartment complex is going to be, I'm not too sure if we're actually going to have time to get around to doing that. If we do have the time, then we will do it, but now that I think about it, this might take us way longer than I originally anticipated. Now, it's been quite some time since we were on Lakeside. I think the last episode was definitely a few months ago. But within that time frame, don't worry, Lakeside obviously has seen its fair share of additions. In fact, we got 2 new builders. We have my good friend Hollow and my good friend Method joining us on Lakeside. I am very, very stoked to have these guys. These are very, very talented builders who are going to be adding to the development of Lakeside. Now, they've already started off pretty well. In fact, we have 2 full neighborhoods currently being built up by them. This is a few of Method's builds, and then we also have Hollow's builds as well. They are looking absolutely spectacular, folks. These things are looking great. So I am very happy to have some new builders because I have been needing some help on Lakeside ever since I began the project. So I'm very, very happy to have a lot of talented people behind me for this project. Also, I do want to say that the next episode of Lakeside, episode 8, is going to be massive, okay? It's going to be a lot different. As some of you guys may know who have been watching the series for some time, we do travel to the places that we are building in person. We actually do go there in person on some of the episodes and just kind of get a better look of what we are building and, you know, trying to replicate it as accurately as possible into the game because Google Earth cannot see everything. So yes, in episode 8, we are going to be getting into the vehicle and driving our way over to this resort where we are going to walk around, kind of just get a peek. We are also going to go inside of these places and see what the interior looks like as well, which will be quite interesting. So yes, definitely something to look forward to. So I had this random idea when I was building this neighborhood out, is if I could incorporate the old neighborhood into this neighborhood as well, kind of have 2 separate styles of apartments going on. I tried it and it just was not working. The building just was way too large. So we are going to just revert course back to what we already have built. And we're going to copy and paste a few of these around so that way we can speed up the process. We also had to handle some business as well. I also went ahead and copied the structure that we already had built and pasted it throughout the neighborhood. We do obviously have to fill in the roads here, of course, and we still have a massive plot of land to still fill, so we do need to paste some over in that area as well. But overall, it is looking pretty nice. It is coming together a lot better than I expected. I was a little bit worried about building in this area because we have this back road that is essentially at a massive angle. So when I was initially planning the neighborhood and the buildings and how I was going to get them to fit in here, I was thinking that I would have to slant an entire building, and I honestly did not really want to do that because I think slants make the build look a lot less real, obviously, because, you know, it is Minecraft and it is a block game. So yeah, it really helps those blocks kind of stick out. So right here we have this open section, and I wasn't too sure what I was going to put here at first, but I ended up deciding on a community pool because I just think it makes the most sense. Now, the clubhouse will not be over here, which is maybe a little bit strange, but I think it does make sense, and I think it will look totally fine with it being in a different area of this neighborhood. But yes, a community pool is going to go here, and then we will probably just start focusing on the other half of this neighborhood, which is like 4 more buildings, and then we will also be building the clubhouse very soon. So now that we have this road extended all the way down and connecting with the other side, I decided to go ahead and start copying and pasting the already existing structures that we have over to this side of the neighborhood. We are about 50% of the way done now, but we still have a lot of small detailing to do, even on the side that is 50% of the way done. I'm still not so sure how I'm going to lay out the road on this side of the neighborhood because it's kind of shaped oddly, so we're gonna have to try to make something work, but I have a few ideas, and again, this is the side that the clubhouse is going to go on, so we kind of have a lot to fit in here. Trust me, figuring all of this out was not easy. Okay, so we are finally on the section of the neighborhood where I was kind of having some issues with the road layout because I just really wasn't sure how I was going to do it or, tackle this section here. Especially because I kind of just haphazardly placed these buildings down with no particular plan. But don't worry, we're going to make it work. And of course, this is the side where the clubhouse will be located. That red box you see right there, that's where the clubhouse is going to be going. Now over on this side, we are going to have two pretty large parking lots for, I guess, both buildings here. But the tricky part is going to be laying it out in a realistic and sensible manner because we have to have, it just has to make sense, right? It just has to make sense. And that's going to be the tricky part here because, again, the buildings are just kind of randomly placed. I didn't have a direction, but I have faith that we're gonna make it look good. I also broke the server for a short period of time, so big shout out to Eno for fixing that. Unfortunately, we did have this massive random concrete stone chunk, whatever you wanna call this, just randomly placed in the apartment complex. So yeah, I'm sure these people are not too happy. So we have to clean this up. Lads, we got a little episode 8 sneak peek, you feel me? Like, basically, what we're gonna be doing is in this neighborhood here. We're gonna be in this neighborhood here. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. These we might build at some point as well. They kind of look nice, kind of like the architecture there. But yeah, I mean, there's kind of a lot over here, but for the most part, this should be a very simple area to build. We got a lot of good footage here. So over here behind this particular building, I was going to add a volleyball court, but for some reason I was just trying to picture it and I was like, this is just not going to look too nice. I just feel like it's not too fitting. So I think what we're going to do is revamp this entire section here behind this apartment. And I'm going to put maybe just like a walking path. I have to put something here because I just don't want it to be open field with trees. A little open section would be too unrealistic for Florida. If you guys have been to Florida, then you probably know what I'm talking about. There's just not really much open land here. Everything seems to be kind of like jam-packed together. If there's any section of land that is open, they're putting something there. Okay, so we are finally at the clubhouse build. We have the roads in. We finally got those figured out as well. So the clubhouse design is going to be based off of the one that is in the real neighborhood on Google Earth. Now, if we go ahead and look at this on Google Earth, we can go ahead and see immediately it's a pretty simple design. So there's not going to be too much detailing here with this, which is pretty nice because it's going to speed this up really fast. Now, after we get this in, this neighborhood is pretty much going to be done. We have to go around and do very small detailing to the roads, the buildings, even the rooftops. You know, we have a whole bunch of small details to do, but the overall structure of this neighborhood is going to be done. So I basically just wrapped up this building by going around and putting in the window frames and just kind of doing some of the small details. But pretty much this whole building is done. We have to add in some gutters as well. But other than that, this thing is pretty much done. This took no time at all. So really quickly, I want to take some extra time to look at Hollow's builds just a little bit more, because there is one thing that he's doing that I definitely do not do with my builds, and that's there is an actual interior. We have an actual interior on these houses. As you guys can see, these look crazy. I don't know how he does the interior, to be honest. I mean, this kitchen looks nuts. I'm not too sure how he does this. A lot of Axiom entities for sure, ton of Axiom, but yeah, it has to take a lot of time. I mean, this is just crazy. I've attempted an interior before, and let me just say it did not go too well. Now, with the future episodes of Lakeside, I do plan to showcase the other builders' builds because they are just looking great. And, you know, it's more Lakeside progress outside of what I'm doing, outside of what Eno is doing. So it's pretty nice just to see the overall progress of different areas and zones within Lakeside. So just keep an eye out for that. It is something to look forward to, as there's going to be a lot to look at within Lakeside pretty soon. It's definitely grown within the last few months quite a bit. So definitely expect a lot of more progress here on Lakeside very, very soon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this pretty much concludes this new neighborhood. It is fully done and finalized. This thing came out way, way, way better than I ever possibly could have imagined. I did not expect to pull this off. It's just, this is definitely the biggest thing we've built in any episode, Bellevue and Lakeside combined. I'm not sure what we're going to name this neighborhood. I have a few ideas, so I think we're just going to go ahead and run with one of them. So this is going to be called the Bayview Apartments.